Morning everybody, it's Chris here from Serene Education with the 4 major analysis update for the 17th of March 2011. Let's going to start with the Euro against US dollar on our CTC strategy template. It's going to open up the daily time frame. You'll be aware that we are in an uptrend, and just recently we've had price pullback. Just recently we had price pullback after testing a high at around the 1400 mark, and then we had this Dragonfly Doji, and yesterday we had a bit of downside, but Asian market trading this morning has seen the price fall rapidly down to what could be extended as a trend line and prior resistance. So I'll just knock that in, and we had another previous support area at 13,800 mark, and then we have one here at a little stalling point. You can see a little stalling point around this area, which coincides with the uptrend. Okay, and it's trading thereabouts. So if the pair can stick around 1390 or 13900, then we could see a possible bounce. Got a bit of consolidation happening here. You can see the Asian market took it right down to almost the 20 period moving average and the trend line. However, we've seen price revert slightly to the upside. CTC on a daily is up, so should we start looking for more upside movement? Possibly, if we can stay above 1390 in this case. So we move into our intraday charts. Let's have a look at the hourly. You can see we came off some highs at 1400, quite clear there, and then we had some lower swings. You can see that, and we're now testing those lower swings as we speak. Okay, swing low, swing low, swing low, and then around 1390 I've mentioned we had a slight pause or consolidation-ish area, and then we've now trading above that area. So, and this area around here is where the trend line on a daily is about. Okay, they're thereabouts, but if we can spend more time above that area, then great. Then we could see consolidation taking place. You can see already broken this intermediate trend, and if we could stay around here, then we could see further upside movement. Just be aware that the CTC on an hourly time frame is negative, so for it to be positive, it obviously needs to. We've got a blue arrow, we just need to have blue candles, and the CTC needs to go blue on either side. And ideally, we'd like to see it trading above its Asian high, which is not too far off, which is pretty much the same high, if I'm not mistaken, as yesterday's low point, previous low. So break above at least, in this case, what's that, 39,300, would see possibly further extensions to the upside. Let's go to our smaller time frames. Look at the 15 minute, you can see that 39.3, there's a bit of consolidation, 935. Break higher than that, would break higher than this trend line that we saw on a bigger time frame, the hourly. So I'm just going to bring it in. You can see how I'm bringing in all the trend lines from the higher time frames and putting them in, so you can see distinct break. Now what we need to do in order to see an upswing is to see higher swings, but we've had a break of that one. So this, since the low was posted, we've had swing higher, swing higher, swing higher, swing higher, squeeze, breakout. Now this swing is lower than the prior one, so we're in a bit of a consolidation here. It still needs to break higher than 39.35 in this time frame to continue being bullish. Otherwise, because we're trading below a prior resistance level at 395 and a support, then this 395 area here could be too strong for price to break above, and we could see it returning to the downside in this case. Okay, so we want to see this pair consolidate and push higher on a daily time frame. We need to see it obviously staying higher than 1390, which is down here, and ideally trading above 3935 because that's the highest it's been in this time frame for the 17. Okay, it's the Asian high, which is in cahoots with the high that we saw at the close of the US session last night. So you see, I'm putting it all together. Okay, so wait for a break higher than 13.95, or we'll probably get a retest of the 1390 mark, which is on our daily. Bring it up. This consolidation area down here. Pair is being squeezed now, guys. Quite a big squeeze. If this pair is to remain bullish, it needs to continue trading above 1390. Otherwise, a break of this trend would see price retest possibly at least 1380, because we've been there before. Price swing to the upside. Okay, so that's euro. I'll be back next with the sterling against US dollar. Okay, back with the UK sterling against US dollar, or cable as it's known. And I'll put in the 1600 here, because that's a major resistance and support area. And what have we seen? We've seen a hammer, almost a morning star pattern, which failed. Price failed to take over and push it higher. And because of that, we're trading below the moving average now, the 20 period, and you can see that we've seen the price falling because we now have lower swings. See that? Down, lower swing, and still a lower swing from yesterday. Excuse me. And now, during the Asian market, we saw the price retesting 1600 mark, but failing to break above 50. Not trading below the 50, so it's trading below all the small time frame moving averages, i.e. the 20 and 50. Not a very good sign, but however, still trading higher than the 1600. For this to be very bearish, obviously we'd like to see a break and close lower than 1600, because then it's closing below a major support and resistance line, a strong support and resistance line in this case, and we could see price really falling to the downside with stops along the way at least 158500 in this case is our first target. So a lot of pips to be made if it closes lower than 1600. You can see price is testing the underside of the 50 period moving average, which coincides with the prior swing area. See that? So this could be breakout, pullback, continuation. Failure to break higher than this line here would see price revert to the downside during the course of today. See, I'm putting it all together, guys. Okay, so it needs to break higher than the 50 period moving average, and the prior swing, which is at 16,055. Just make a note of that, 16,055. So I'll just open up a bigger time frame, the hour, smaller time frame, the hourly. 16,055 is there. Okay. That's the major resistance level on hourly chart. It needs to be trading above that, because that's where the resistance level, prior resistance, or the swing high we saw on the uptrend, and where the 50 period moving average is, okay, on this time frame. And you can see that we've had lower swings since testing prior highs back in the 9th. You can see how price has been swinging lower. So that's the trend to the downside, and if we can't see price breaking higher than 16,055, then we could see price reverting back to the downside. Okay, so it has to break above 16,055 during the course of today and close higher for us to see further extensions to the upside. However, because we've broken below that, and this could be a very strong resistance level, we could see price rally to this area or thereabouts, fail to do so, and revert back to the downside. Okay, so look for opportunities to see a bit of consolidation around this area before we see another extension to the downside, because the CTC is now red. Okay, so I've opened up the 15-minute chart and put that line that trigger line that price needs to be trading above in order for us to see further extensions. Or if it comes unstuck and we see a pullback at this level there, and I know that we should be looking for an opportunity to get a possible trade to the downside. Okay, you can see the swing highs as we go towards that level. Failure to break this level here, you could see consolidation, and then as you can see that we're in a negative trend on our bigger time frames, then we could see consolidation and a retest of at least this area if price fails to break higher than 16,055. Could go back down to 15,985 to start with, and then further ones from there to the downside. See how I put it together. Okay, so that's sterling against US dollar. We'll be back next with the US dollar against Swiss franc. Okay, the next pair we're looking at is the US dollar against Swiss franc. There's a daily time frame. You can notice that this pair, I'm going to just bring it up here, has broken through this trend line here, which is a governing fact now. That's the real breakout here at 935. Had a lot of support. Just start of just before 2011, and then in early Feb, and a breakout, a consolidation, and then we've just seen price fall in the last couple of days. The US dollar losing a lot of ground to the Swiss franc as everybody sells their positions in commodities and shares and stores them into a safe haven currency pair, and this being the Swiss franc. So, and we've had a huge fall as you speak on the Asian market side. Let's consolidate to halfway. Let's have a look at the intraday. So that's very negative on a daily time frame. All the time frames are negative. If I pull up an hourly, you can see yesterday in particular, after bouncing the day before, you saw it consolidate and then failed to break higher than a previous breakout, and the 50 and the 20 period moving average acting as a resistance level for this pair. Notice a squeeze, breakout, consolidated, and continued to fall late US session time around about 10 o'clock last night GMT, and then as the Asian market opened, we saw a bit of a pullback, but prices reverted to the downside after failing to break a prior swing, and we're now testing this intermediate swing or trend line. Okay, that's just very quickly what I'm looking at. So we move to our 50-minute, for example. You can see the breakouts just below the 0.908 mark, then the pullback, and now we're seeing price failing to break above the 50 period moving average in this case, and by doing so it's making lower swings. In this case the CTC is red, the other swings are sideways-ish. So you can see we have support area roughly around the, what do we call that, 0.898 mark. So it's consolidating. 3 times it's failed to break below the level, so it's a bit of a support area. It has to break below that and close lower to see further extensions. Otherwise what we could see is price pretty much sitting along this area, consolidating, and then possibly having a bit of a pullback to at least the 0.908 mark, but we need to see it close lower than at 89800 to see any further downside movement for this pair, which is negative as to start with. So could see a bit of consolidation taking place. Got to break higher than 908 for bullishness and close lower than 898 to be bearish. Okay, that's the US dollar against Swiss franc. I'll be back next with the last pair of the day, the US dollar against Japanese yen. Next up, Japanese yen. Wow, that's a daily chart, guys. Whew. Since the earthquake and the repercussions because of the tsunami, and now we have nuclear reactors and wow, everything's just going topsy-turvy. US dollar has lost a lot of ground against the Japanese yen. And strange though, because a lot of people would think the Japanese yen would be losing on ground and the US dollar would be gaining ground. But it doesn't work that way. And I mean, word's out now that they're getting choppers involved now to dump water on reactors 3 and 4. Things are really getting out of hand because they can't keep the fuel rods cool. It's crazy, and we saw a break a couple of days ago and a consolidation under this line, and then very indecisive spinning top, big trading range, broke this long time support area. CTC is negative, and we had a big down day for that day to literally take back most of the wick to the downside. A bit of consolidation, and then wow, a gap down. Huge range for this pair. Look at intraday. You can see on a 4 hour, lower swings, swing low, and momentum really starting to kick in now. The 50 and the 20 are evenly spaced, showing you market the volatility in this pair, pushing it lower. I've never seen a candle that big on a 4 hour chart before. Absolutely crazy. 30-minute charts, massive move late last night, just before the Asian market session open. Really driving, and a lot of our students did really well on these pairs yesterday, which is fantastic. CTC still governed red. I mean, until further notice, all we should be looking for in these pairs is further downside movement. We've literally are seeing some huge issues with this pair. We're trading at an all-time low on this pair, and I mean, it's got to do a lot of work. It's got to break at least above this 80.5 in order to be even classified as possible pullback area scenario. Otherwise, we're just going to see further extensions to the downside for this pair. So as it stands now, just looking for a possible entry level. You'll find the pairs are still unable to break high and forming a trend to the downside, and ideally you wanted to trade lower than this previous little bounce. So wait for a close lower than 78.7 and then look to see if price can take you back down to at least the 77.2 mark. For this pair to look bullish for today, it needs to break obviously up the trend line in this case. Okay, and when it's done so, it needs to be trading higher than at least national break here at 79.8, and then we could look for possible targets up here at 80.8. But very negative, very negative setup for this pair. So going forward, look for further shorting opportunities, look for entries, and then look at possible targets. Make sure they all coincide with your money management rules, and take it from there. Alright guys, have a great trading day. Make sure you take your pips when they present themselves. Make sure you do your analysis, stick to the basics, and you shall be rewarded. A lot of our students have. Well done to you guys for yesterday's trading. We looked at 300, 400, 500 pip gains for some of you guys, and it's brilliant. Well done. Keep it up. Most importantly, trade serenely.